are live. Welcome to My Brother's an Idiot, the podcast where we discuss sports, entertainment, food, degenerate betting, get on each other's nerves, and laugh a little bit. And we hope you laugh a little bit too. Welcome. My name is Matt. I'm the king of the goons. Let me kick you around the rest of the squad. First and foremost, holding down the fort in Extreme Southern Command, he is the owner and proprietor of Knox Nostalgia Collectibles. He is Tank Knox. What is up, buddy?
Not much, but I'm doing good. It's been kind of cold down here, weirdly enough.
Yeah, the snow's coming.
Yeah.
Thursday night into Friday. It's going to be fun. Good to see you, bud. Next, she is our moral compass. She is the anchor, the dipshit, the voice of God.
That's terrifying.
Don't put that evil on me.
My wonderfully talented niece, the dipshit herself. What's up, MJ?
Not much. Just chilling. What's up with you?
You know, we're doing a podcast, so I think we're doing pretty good.
We are doing something akin to a podcast, that's for sure.
Right? I mean, it gets live streamed and it gets launched on Spotify, so I guess we can call it a podcast, right? To all 7 people to which we are the number 1 podcast in the world.
That number's going up this year.
Hell yeah. Improvement. We're
Improvement,
getting to
yeah.
10, brother.
We're going to get to double digits. That's right. Good to see you. And finally, the man we've named the podcast after. ChatGPT calls him the dumb one. He is the one with the hair. He is the Golda Goon, the Kaiser. And I summon my brother Mark in the traditional manner. Goon?
And I am here. How's it going?
Hey, what's up, buddy?
Oh, not much. Just going to talk about some sports.
Right? Do we want to talk about pay the dairy tariff, your name that you've got there on the screen, or is that coming up later?
No, it's just the cheese tax. I didn't know what else to name.
Oh,
myself.
the cheese tax.
We were listening to the cheese tax when I was plugging in the name. The name will probably change at some point throughout the evening. Pay no attention to the name in the corner of the screen unless you want to pay attention to it, in which case, do whatever the fuck you want. I don't care.
All right, brilliant. All right, well, let's get going. We've got an action-packed agenda to cover for you tonight. We'll start first. Dipshit tells me she has a game for us to play, and these are always such a treat. Take it away.
Yeah. Okay, so let's hold on. A little bit of background information here. I had a game, and we were going to play this game, and I didn't have time to get the information for the game. And then I was like, oh, I'll just do it tonight. And then I didn't get home until like an hour ago. So we're playing a different game. And it's a stupid game. I hope you're excited.
Always.
Okay.
I have strong feelings about that.
So here's how the game works. It's called Football or Formula One. And basically, and by football, I mean European football. I'm going to send you a picture of a guy. And you're going to tell me if it's a soccer player or a Formula One driver.
Oh my God. So for those of you listening at home, you're just gonna have to.
I'll tell you who it is after they're done.
So I guess we will try to describe said bloke on the air.
Yeah,
to make it a little bit more palatable for the audio portion.
Describe him. Tell me what sport he participates in, and give me a name. So your first one is being sent in the Discord right now. I want you to tell me what sport he plays and what his name is.
Bro, that is Sven Lidisvik. He is the second line left winger for a team in Germany. Hockey.
Okay, got it.
Yeah, I was going to say this guy looks like the 6th pair defenseman in the KHL.
So he's not actually a sports player. This guy is he's the guy who tunes the drums for Dream Theater. This is the drum tech for Dream Theater.
This is
a
also
roadie for Nightwish.
Hop in and say that there's not a ton of plain clothes pictures for these guys. So this is a GQ Photoshop photo shoot picture of a European with long hair.
He looks like the bad guy from the second Ghostbusters sans the ugly face.
It's Vigo's kid.
It's Vigo's son. That is Vigo Jr.
I was thinking it's Alexander Skarsgård's stunt double.
Oh, maybe. I'm going with this cat.
Brother for
this
that,
cat has to play soccer. That's what I'm going with. This guy's got to play soccer, but he looks
I'm saying
like
football also.
I'm going to say driver just to be different.
Okay. Do we have a
I believe he's Dutch.
any more names?
We don't have names.
I like Sven Scarbringer.
Name
You guys an extra from the Covenant True Blood.
Okay, well, Matt Intake, you are correct. He does play soccer. That is Erling Haaland, top scorer in the Premier League. He scored 5 goals 2 games ago, and for shits and giggles, that's him.
Who does he play for?
Man City.
Oh, that's not a surprise.
Yeah.
He looks like he's from Holland, I guess.
He's from
Sweden?
His name,
I guess. Sweden. Okay.
Yeah.
Yeah, I could have. Yeah,
he's absolutely Swedish.
He's 1,000% Swedish.
Yeah. All right. Next picture's in the chat. This is an Esquire photo shoot.
I saw him on an episode of Supernatural that was on TV when I turned on the cameras today. That's his name is Jack Mehoff, and he's actually the Goblin King in an episode of Supernatural.
Oh, Supernatural. That must be season 17.
Yeah, I'm gonna say he's a driver, though. In all honesty, just the fact that he's wearing like a suit. He also looks like he's shocked by the fact that this picture is taken, even though I know he's not. It's like, what? Look scared. Look like somebody's coming at you with a knife.
Look panicked.
Look like somebody's throwing a dart at you.
This is a European's worst take at trying to play Zoolander. That's what this is. This is rocking blue steel. Yeah. He also looks like something I saw in an episode of Suits once.
This looks like
Go ahead, Frank.
This looks like the Italian equivalent of a Canadian tuxedo. What the fuck is he wearing?
That is 100% John Stamos's hair. Can we all agree that is John Stamos's hair?
Oh yeah. This is.
Yeah.
You're not wrong. This is Esquire Italia. This is Italian.
Oh shit! I killed that. Nice.
Right?
I have no idea what he does, but he looks.
I'm going. This guy's. I'm going. This guy's a driver. Yeah, I'm going driver.
Soccer player because I don't know. I can't tell how tall he is.
Mark him. Matt, you are correct. He is a driver. This is Carlos Sainz Jr. Drives for Ferrari.
That makes a lot of sense in a lot of ways.
All right, next guy. There he is in the chat.
Oh, that guy's a fucking soccer player.
This is Adam Sandler's poor brother.
That
that guy
is Borat. That is Borat's. That is Sacha Baron Cohen's twin brother right there. Nice bow tie. I'm digging the bow tie. I'm not sure what's going on with the suit jacket. It looks like they're I don't know what kind of pattern that is.
It's some kind of tartan.
Yeah, I'm going to go this guy's a soccer player, but he looks like a butler that grafted on Merton Hanks's neck.
He looks like the dude from Kate and Leopold. Who is that?
Probably the titular Leopold.
I mean, I'm pretty sure Leopold was played by Hugh Jackman, but
he's a little Hugh Jackman-esque, I guess.
No, it's a different person.
Hugh Jackman fucked Adam Sandler.
He looks like he was popular in the mid-2000s in movies at some point.
So I'm saying he's about to do a sketch where a bunch of white people are in a they're at a thing and he's singing the national anthem wrong or something. That looks like Sacha Baron Cohen. But I'm going to say,
go ahead.
I'm just going to say he's a driver.
Yeah,
I'm sorry. I'm going to say he's a soccer player.
Soccer player. Yeah, we were going to go soccer player.
Soccer
also, this guy looks like he's going to sell me a fake Rolex.
You know what I was about to say? He looks like someone that someone would pick to play a Greek person in a movie like 15 years ago.
He could be a card shark. He could be a card shark.
Yeah,
I could see wannabe blackjack card counter that doesn't work because you can't count cards if you have multiple decks.
Right.
That looks like that guy.
Tank, what's your final guess?
Soccer player.
All three of you are wrong. That's Daniel Ricciardo. He drives for not Red Bull. Red Bull's baby team. There's 2 Red Bull teams.
What's that, Roaring Lion?
It's Racing Bulls.
It's Colorado
You're not that
equipment.
far along.
Racing Bull. All right.
All right. Next one. This is an easy one. This should be easy.
Why would that be easy? Nice Cro-Mag
We're
forehead.
supposed to. Yeah, I know,
He's
right?
taken a couple of headbutts. That's why it's easy.
That guy has been hit in the face a few times in
This
his
is a
formative years.
I could not find any plainclothes pictures of this motherfucker.
So, if you
he's a soccer player.
not necessarily,
It took me like 5 minutes to find a plainclothes picture of Carlos Sainz, to be fair.
Do you remember in Muppets Christmas Carol, there was the baby who gets punched in the face when they're singing at the beginning of the movie? That could be the baby all grown up with his face still all smushed in front.
Oh, jeez.
And he's got ears like he left the fucking... Those are impressive. Those are almost...
This is the guy.
ears.
This is the guy that plays Slobodan Milosevic in the biopic in his formative years.
What's the
like
name of
that
the
one.
Captain America ripoff that we got with Winter Soldier and Falcon? What was his name? Super Soldier? Or
You think
Soldier
that's
Boy?
Sebastian Stan?
no, the
U.S. agent.
U.S. agent. That's U.S. agent right there.
If there was an Italian equivalent, maybe.
I
A lot of
am
these
going to
guys
say
look.
he's a soccer player, just for shits and
Yeah,
giggles.
soccer player.
I'm going race car this time.
All right, Matt and Mark, you are correct. I'm disappointed in you, Tank. That's Christian Pulisic. That's the best American
Oh shit,
player.
that's right. That is Christian
He was
Pulisic.
Slavic.
Couldn't have picked him out. Couldn't have picked him out of a lineup if I wanted to.
That's.
He's not
US 's
Italian
best
though,
player.
apparently.
He plays in Italy right now. He
He
plays
plays
for
in
AC
Italy.
Milan. Okay, next dude. This one's Ginger.
Jesus. What in the Sam Hill?
You know who that looks like?
Why does he look like he's in prison?
Oh God. Holy buckets.
It looks like
He-
the redheaded boxer, the Mexican dude. That's a redhead.
Oh,
I can't remember his
Canelo?
name.
Canelo
Canelo,
Alvarez?
yes, he looks
He
like
kind of
Canelo
looks like
Alvarez.
Canelo Alvarez. A little bit like skinny Canelo Alvarez that's more
Yeah.
clear. He looks
Yeah,
like
a lot less punches to the face.
Yeah. But he's also like he's got that like I don't know, that albino like pink skin thing going on.
That's where I'm, kind of leaning towards that.
He's super Irish, isn't he?
No.
I don't
Is he
think
Swedish?
so.
It's one of the two. He's from somewhere up north. They don't get sun where he is
Pretty
from.
sure he's German, but that's North
Yeah.
I
America.
think
Yeah, it
half
could be
his
very-
family might be from there, maybe. But
Well, you know, the Anglo-Saxons did push south.
I don't know what any of
this
these
guy
jabronis
drives.
look like. So yeah,
Yeah,
he's
this
a
guy
driver.
drives.
Yeah.
Oh,
That
sorry,
sounds-
Belgian.
He's got helmet hair.
oh, he's Belgian, huh?
Still saying he's a driver.
Yeah.
Yeah, that's not much help. All the Europeans.
There's no American drivers. It's fine.
Right.
There's one. Logan Sargent got P20 and he didn't fucking crash. Let's go.
USA, USA, USA.
These colors don't run, bitch. Take, you got a guess?
Yeah, driver.
All right, so all three of you went driver.
Yeah.
Okay, all three of you are wrong.
God damn.
That's Kevin De Bruyne. That is another soccer player for Manchester City.
Cool.
You could tell who I cheer for.
You absolutely never
sport we don't
ever
watch.
heard of
Yeah.
this person ever.
Yeah. Right.
He's very good. He's
I'm sure he
Peter
makes more
Forsberg.
money than the four of us on the computer combined.
Yeah, times several many.
Yeah.
He's Peter Forsberg for soccer.
Oh shit.
Interesting. Okay. All right.
He's Peter Forsberg, and Erling Haaland is Joe Sakic. For context. Okay, next guy. Last guy.
Last guy.
Last guy.
Holy shit.
Least interesting guy.
That's
That
Baby
Cillian-
Driver.
That's Cillian Murphy.
Kind of. It really looks like Cillian Murphy.
It looks like a combination
It
of
does look
him
like
and
Cillian
the
Murphy.
other dude. Edgerton?
Yeah, Taron Egerton.
Yeah.
It looks like the guy who played Baby Driver.
Also looks like Baby Driver.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Especially in the
I can see that.
sunglasses.
The part in the middle is interesting. He is wearing Hilfiger. Interesting as well.
We'll
Is
see
he
how
German?
he's not German. Extremely British. Exceedingly British.
I was going to say that glass jaw he's got there. Got a very punchable jaw.
Yeah.
I will
That's
tell,
almost
right here.
Tom Brady. He's like Tom Brady without the cleft. With that jawline.
Oh yeah, kind of.
He's got that good sized British posh nose, you know.
Right. This
Somebody
guy's
who has a
driver.
big-
I'm going
Yeah, he's a
driver.
I mean, yeah, I guess. Yeah, driver.
all three of you, Driver.
Yeah.
Yep.
You are correct. That's
Wow.
George Russell. That's the second Mercedes driver. He drives behind Mr. Hamilton, noted Broncos owner.
Oh,
So you
wow.
could have thrown us a bone and given us,
Yeah,
I
Lewis
thought about
Hamilton.
giving you a really easy one. but-
Although we probably
I was
should
waiting-
have known Christian Pulisic.
yeah, you should have known Christian Pulisic.
I don't watch enough soccer.
No clue.
I'm
And
the
I'll-
only
I'll-
guy on the U.S. team that gets any news coverage.
I'll also tell Matt and Mark, you guys should have recognized George Russell a little faster. He's the guy who did the fucking T-pose picture that was going around from the F1. I sent you many memes of George Russell doing the fucking T-pose. Hold on. I'll pull it up and send it to you guys.
So that's an unfair advantage. No, I'm just kidding.
Clearly not.
The unfair
I mean, you
advantage
all
is
got
that we're
it.
American and none of these
well.
guys. Yeah.
Right?
Only one of them would maybe be known.
I got nothing.
This picture.
Absolutely nothing. Yep. Never would have recognized him.
Yeah. Now I remember the pose.
Right.
That's the same dude.
That's the same dude. Yeah.
Why
Different
in the other
hairstyle.
picture?
Sure.
This
Parting his hair differently.
the T-pose
darker.
picture is from the beginning of last season.
I think he's wearing some significant amount of hair gel in the bottom picture, which he is not wearing in the top picture. That's why his hair is appearing darker.
Oh yeah, that or got some chestnut highlights.
There's some
Yeah,
oil
there's definitely
in that.
there's some product going on.
There's some oil going on there.
He has applied a pomade.
There's a slick up top.
Or he grabbed some of that 80 weight off the shelf and threw it in there. Maybe.
Oh, all right. Good
Right,
game,
there's my
Michaela.
question.
That was fun.
Yeah, that was fun. That was fun.
Good way to scramble. All right, let's move on to actual sports. Let's talk about the Nuggets because I want to talk about something fun. I don't want to get into this.
Fucking kill myself.
Also, at this point, I need to let you know that there's no baseball on this agenda, and that's offensive that you just said all sports and there's no baseball on the agenda.
I said sports. Actual
Yeah,
sports.
you said actual sports. Yeah, and then you
Yeah.
just said that, and we're not
I'm
covering
still mad.
baseball. That's a real sport.
I'll throw you a bone later, but
Okay.
I'm still mad at baseball. All right, so the Nuggets currently third, and they are one game out of first place with half a game behind OKC, with Minnesota taking the lead so far. Then OKC has a game in hand, so it could be a full game behind two teams after the next game that OKC plays. They have had a 6-game winning streak coming out of the break, which was broken last night. Mark, tell me your thoughts. 6 games crushing folks and then losing in overtime to the Suns.
Reminds me of when a Mike Shanahan coach team in the late 90s lost a game, kind of late in the season to take the pressure off of them. It's not the same situation, but I feel like this loss is going to be okay for them. It was rough. They were losing by 20 points at one point in this game, came back, got the lead, and then choked it away again. I feel like as a team, when you play so many games in a season, seeing different ways of winning and losing is extraordinarily helpful. And this is the time to get those yips out so that they don't happen in the postseason. They almost came back from, 20 points down. And they did come back and then, kind of gave it back. I think this is a great learning experience for them. I don't really, they lost. It's tough, but the previous 6 games showed me all I need to know about this Nuggets team going forward. I am still confident that they will be just fine in the playoffs. I am staying the course. They're going to be A-okay.
Tank?
Yeah, I don't fear what happened last night. The team shooting was off all night. The fact that they made a comeback is actually pretty substantial, even though they still ended up losing. If we do meet this team in the playoffs, which is a possibility, they need to find somebody to mess with Durant's rhythm a little bit. I think that's going to be their issue. That's about
it. Durant got into a rhythm for 2 games in the playoffs last year, and it didn't help him one bit.
I don't think in the playoffs that's going to matter much. I think that they have their number. I think they're testing shit out, and they just had a really bad night and almost came back from it. So I'm not worried at all.
No, neither am I. Just the shooting was off, and I think that was just a bad night shooting, and that's all it was.
Yeah, I agree. Jay, got any thoughts?
Anybody else hear that robot Matt there?
Yeah, robot Matt.
Yeah.
I have
that was
multiple
odd.
thoughts.
Did you just do a thing on your end too?
Who, me?
Matt, are you back? He's still on a fucking delay. He's on a stupid delay right now.
No, he's not.
Are you there?
Yeah.
Hello?
Oh,
I'm here.
Okay.
Yeah.
Okay. All right. Go on, Michaela. Sorry.
Right.
Things were happening.
No, it's okay.
Nope.
Don't do that. Don't move.
Yeah.
Don't move your body.
Stop moving.
Stop.
I have 2 thoughts, 2 separate thoughts. One thought can be saved for later. Second thought, I decided that the reason that the Nuggets lost was because my coworker Brian and his kids went to the game last night, and Brian cheers for the Suns, and his kids are like kind of little half breeds where they cheer for the Nuggets and cheer for the Suns, and they took off the kid took off his Nuggets jersey so that he could cheer for the Suns, and I decided that that's why that the Nuggets lost, is because Mason lost hope. How dare you, Mason? You have betrayed us all. It's your fault. I'm blaming it on the 5-year-old.
Yeah, as well you should. I agree.
Yeah, I agree 100% with that. Well, one of the best moments of the 6-game winning streak was on national television with the celebration of LeBron James getting to 40,000 points. The Nuggets came in and ruined the fucking day. Tank?
That was funny.
Tell me what you thought about that.
That was one of my favorite things to watch. Yeah, I mean, that seems to be the Nuggets are just apparently just taking it personal at this point, all the shit talking from the Lakers last year, and have decided to bury them again on another celebration night, and it was hilarious.
Mark?
Yeah, I mean, that was a lot of fun. Anytime the Nuggets can dunk on LeBron, they do, and it's awesome. They haven't, they haven't lost a game to LeBron in almost 10 attempts now, and it's embarrassing. His
7 straight.
Yeah,
7 straight.
Right. It's ridiculous, and it's just he has his 40,000 night. They win the fucking in-season tournament, the opening night thing. They just stomp all over everything, and I love every second of it. Fuck the Lakers.
What surprised me the most, MJ, was that LeBron didn't go out of his way to get his 9 points that he needed first, and was actually content to let the game come to him. It's really out of character for LeBron, don't you think?
Yeah. Yeah, there, Matt. It sounds like that's something that LeBron would have done, except he didn't. Ha. the
You're a bad uncle.
the only information I have about LeBron right now is I saw someone doing a thing that's like it was comparing LeBron at age 39 and Michael Jordan at age 39, and it was Michael Jordan playing poker with a shirt that says "I'm the dough roller," and it's a picture of like the Pillsbury Doughman rolling out pizza dough, and then LeBron like a stat line from yesterday. So that's that's what I got.
Right. I know. I set you up for that one, and I apologize,
Okay.
but it was just too easy. Mark, you've been calling for MPJ to play better, and he's been averaging 25 points a game. In fact, on Saturday, he had a very rare stat line. He went 100% field goal attempts with 100% from three, 25, 10, and 4. Looks like the All-Star break served that kid well.
Yeah, I mean, he needed to step up. Right? Jamal is, he can't carry the team the entire time. And, Joker can carry the team, but they need a number 2 and a number 3. Aaron Gordon's going to get his every single game. He is lights out and very, very steady. But MPJ needs to be big for them. And, I don't know if he's just been fiddling with his game, or he just is like taking his time rounding into shape, or if he just didn't come into camp healthy, or what happened. But the first half of this season, he was a little bit concerning to me. Not concerning enough that I would think that, what is going to happen here in the next few months wouldn't transpire with them winning another championship. But he needed to get right. And it seems like he is getting right. And that's only going to mean, better things for them going forward. They have to have their starting 5 clicking.
Oh, absolutely. And Tank, I think Mark hit the nail on the head. I think that there has been a health issue, and there will be a health issue with Michael Porter Jr. for his entire career. 3 back surgeries, that big, tall frame of his. He looked in the last few games much more explosive, much more athletic, much more willing to take the ball to the rack, and then his shot is just pure. But I think it's all health.
Oh yeah, I'd agree. I don't want I've never had an issue with his shooting. When he's on, he's on. I still wish he'd play a little better defense, but his scoring has been fantastic the last couple weeks, and I expect more of that, honestly, from him.
Yeah, if he's averaging 25 points a game, we're going to be just fine. Even if he's not playing great defense, that scoring is what matters coming out of MPJ.
Yeah.
Well, and he's never going to be a great defender. He's going to be a willing defender, right? And I don't want him banging because him playing with his size, I don't want him playing post defense. I want him moving his feet a little bit and being an issue on defense a bit, but I'd rather have his scoring punch. I think that's much more threatening and much more problematic for the other team. Tank, looks like the bench is starting to come together a little bit with Peyton Watson and Christian Brown playing some really good defense, especially in that game on Saturday. And Peyton Watson had an amazing block last night, I believe, on Grayson Allen trying to make a dunk and just took it right out of his hands.
Oh yeah, I'm loving Watson, especially defensively. That guy seems destined to be a defensive player of the year, honestly, at some point. I think Brown needs to get a little better on his shot selection sometimes, because he seems to want to just toss it up every once in a while, and he kind of needs to get away from that, I think. But defensively, they've looked amazing.
MJ, do you have any thoughts about the bench?
It's there for people to sit on.
Mark, what do you got?
Christian Brown's playing a lot like he did in the playoffs last year. Those shots were falling a lot for him in the playoffs last year, which is what propelled him into instant everybody in Denver loves him land, because he was getting a lot of lucky looks and a lot of lucky hits. And I feel like he's still semi-thriving on that, rookie luck. and the shots aren't necessarily going in every single time. I think that's just the player he is, though. I think he's going to take risks, and that's part of the fun of who he is. But yeah, Peyton Watson's looking like a great defender. Reggie's doing great. That bench is looking, stout and deep, and it should be. That's exactly what you need for another deep playoff run or 3.
Yeah, and last year they went 8 deep, and if you take Reggie, Christian, and Peyton, there's your 3, right? There's the 3 guys that are probably going to get good minutes in rotation. We'll see what happens if Joker needs a break and they have to go with somebody else. You could see Zeke, you could see DJ in that spot. We'll see what happens. We already talked about the fucking Suns, so fuck those guys. The next 5 games. There's a really important game, and then there's some very winnable games coming up. They got the Celtics tomorrow night, 8:00. That's going to be on national TV. And then they've got the Jazz at home, the Raptors at home. They're at the Heat, and they're at the Spurs. Mark, I think they need to go 4-1 in that stretch.
Yeah, I'm not so sure they deem tomorrow night's game necessarily as big on their calendar. Let's all remember that it is a non-conference game. It's all, so that they don't care as much right now about that. They're more inclined to play for health and not showing everything to somebody that they might meet again, in June. So I don't think that they're necessarily putting a bullseye on this one. The only thing that is keeping it interesting is, like you said, it's national TV and it's a home game. So they'll play well. I think they beat the Suns, though. The Suns are playing great and they're on fire, but the Nuggets are too. They're playing just as hot. You could easily win, and then, maybe you drop a game against the Heat in Miami. You just never play very well there. And it's just not just Denver. It's generally speaking, NBA players just don't play well in Miami. Call it distractions or weather. There's just always something going on down there. So I feel like they're going to beat the Celtics. They don't have a bullseye on that one, but they do lose a game in this next stretch, and it's at Miami.
Yeah, the Florida flu is real.
Brown bottle Tank. Florida flu most of the time.
Yeah, right. Dancing girls.
Young guys on Miami Beach. Come on, bro. Like,
you're right.
With millions of dollars. Those guys are hanging out.
I'm not sure what it is, Tank, but every time now that the Nuggets play the Heat, I always end up somewhere on some social media seeing the Joker, Marquise Morris, hullabaloo, and them making a big deal about it. I don't think anybody gives a shit anymore.
The Morris brothers apparently still give a shit because it keeps coming from them.
Yeah.
But no, I think on our side, it's like, who gives a shit? It was a cheap shot and another cheap shot in response and then some threats. But who cares? On the Celtics matchup, I think is interesting, but I don't think either of these teams are going to be given their giving any secrets away, because this is definitely currently the most likely finals matchup, I guess is the best way to put it. And I don't think either team's going to be going full effort on this one just to kind of, leave something for June. And yeah, I don't know. The Heat game, that's going to be an interesting one. That probably would be the loss out of these 5 games coming up.
The only thing I would push back on this not being an important game is both of these teams have lost their most recent game, and neither one of them want to go 2 in a row. And Boston lost embarrassingly. They were 139-0 going back to 1997 in games in which they were ahead by 20 points in the fourth quarter, and Cleveland came back and beat them.
Put a 50 burger on them.
Right. Good God.
Sadly, they beat them down too. They did not have their best players.
Right. MJ, what do you think? 4-1 these next 5?
Yeah, there, Matt. I think that we're gonna lose the Heat game because is it Jimmy Butler? Yeah, Jimmy Butler.
Jimmy Butler
did a Fall Out Boy song, and I'm putting a
My
hex.
Chemical Romance, wasn't it?
No, it was Fall Out Boy.
Okay.
Good try.
Mm-hmm.
And
he did have a My Chemical Romance haircut, though.
He did have the MCR. He had the Gerard Way special.
Yeah.
I'm also putting a hex upon the San Antonio Spurs for texting me today. That was uncalled for. I didn't need that text message. It wasn't really from the Spurs. It was something from the Corpus Christi Hooks, but it came up in my notifications as the Spurs, and I was like, "Where are the San Antonio Spurs texting me?" So fuck those guys.
Right. Yeah, absolutely. Fuck those guys. They're also the worst team in the Western Conference. All right, now it's time for your weekly reminder that the best basketball player in the world plays in Denver, Colorado. And I have not one, but two outlandish Joker stats of the week. Joker recently, leading up to the game on Saturday, had 4 straight triple doubles. That's only been repeated 7 other times. Maurice Stokes, Oscar Robinson, Wilt Chamberlain, Magic, Michael Jordan, and of course, Russell Westbrook when he was at the height of his power in 2015. Notable here is that in 1989, Michael did it 7 times. That's ridiculous.
Yeah.
In that era of NBA, we just get pounded on night after night after night to go 7 straight triple doubles. Fuck, that guy's the GOAT.
Yeah.
But even better than that, leading up to Saturday, Joker is the first player in history with 3 straight 14 rebound, 14 assist games.
Oh,
That's
random.
That is random.
Yeah, right. But it just goes to the genius of the man, right? Other NBA news and another outlandish stat: Wemby went 27, 10, 8, 5, and 5, and it's the second straight time he had a 5x5 game. And only Jordan went 5x5 twice in a row. Yes, MJ.
Okay, I'm smart enough to know that it's points, and then I think blocks and rebounds. Those two might be switched. What the fuck are the other 2 numbers?
So it's 27 points, 10 rebounds, 8 assists, 5 blocks, 5 steals.
What's an I thought okay. Move on.
It's really just a
What?
double-double with a bunch of other stats is what you're looking at.
I thought a triple-double was blocks, rebounds, and points. Or is it just the two in any of the 3 of the 5?
Correct. Most
Yes.
often
correct.
it is
Got
not
it.
blocks, though. Most often it is assists and rebounds.
Rebounds.
Are the
Okay.
2 main stats. If it's 10 steals, Jesus fuck. That's a great
Whoever you were
defensive
playing with
game.
had a bad
Still-
day that day. Yeah.
But it's still 5 steals and 5
Yeah,
blocks
that's
from
pretty
the same
impressive.
dude.
That's-
That is absolutely
that's pretty
impressive.
wild.
And that Michael was the only other one to go back to back with the 5x5 is absolutely absurd.
Too bad his team is absolutely dog shit.
Dog shit.
Yeah, but they're going to get better. Watch out for the Spurs in
Twin Towers again.
27.
Yeah.
2027, yeah.
Right. There have been a rash of injuries that are definitely going to factor into the playoff race. Brunson hurt his leg. I watched the play. I haven't seen an update on Jalen Brunson from the New York Knicks, but it looked bad. It looked like he took off funny and his knee buckled. I don't know if anybody else has an update there. But we've got Westbrook broke his hand, so the Clips are going to be in a little bit of a hard spot. And Scotty Barnes, Toronto, broke his finger. So the rash of injuries has begun.
The MRI came back clean.
That's good.
So yeah, the contusion is better than it was. There's no underwent an MRI, and it just came back as a bruise. And so they're just holding him off to make sure that it is completely healed before he comes back. So he is good.
That's good.
Yeah, that's awesome.
That's good for him because that looked awful.
Yeah.
Like he crumpled after that play. That was terrible.
That was rough. And you never want to see somebody lose a season like that, especially when he's doing so well.
Right. I mean, that's what happened to Jamal in 2022.
Yep.
Right. It just upended the whole season. And the last thing I want to talk about, and it's always fun to wallow in the misery of teams like the Golden State Warriors, but they went into Boston, Tank, and lost by 50 points.
That was horrendous in every conceivable way. That has to be the most embarrassing game for them since they got Curry, right? That has to be their worst game for 15 years. That was awful.
It's got to be close.
Yeah.
It's got to be close.
Yeah.
That was brutal. And yeah, Boston did not let off the gas at any point. That's what made it funny.
No. And it was a 50-point game in the third quarter. They were doubled up, 100-50. I mean, Mark, how does a former champion let that happen?
And I'm pretty sure, correct me if I'm wrong, but I'm pretty sure Kristaps Porzingis wasn't even playing in that game. I think he's been out the last few games. So I don't think that Boston had one of their better players, which makes it even worse.
Oh, you mean Tingus Pingus was hurt again?
Yeah. When that guy is on the court, he can score 28. When he's not, the Celtics still win. Anyways, but yeah, I'm not scared of anybody in the West. The Nuggets have a clear path for me through the Western Conference.
MJ, you got any thoughts? Golden State sucking ass.
I saw Trap House Sports put a TikTok out about it, and he was like, that's the extent of my knowledge of that situation.
I did see that one too. It was awesome. I love Trap House.
Before we move,
I'm tied.
Before we move on from the NBA, we have to talk about the NBA's version of the Spiders Cup. The Wizards and the Pistons still only have 9 games each. So
brilliant. Look at that.
So they're both at 9.
Holding out hope.
Yeah.
Both at 9.
Yeah.
We could have 2 tie it. Let's go.
Let's go. Keep losing. We love it.
They're respectively 39 and 39 and a half games back.
So great. It's so awesome.
I love it.
That's so great. 40 games out of first place, out of playoffs.
That's
like the
great.
team in first place. The team in first place could have taken half the season off and they'd still be behind them. So good. So good.
Oh, it's so
All right,
funny.
let's move on. Let's move on to the NHL, and it is dipshit fun time. Take it away. Hockey man.
Do. Time for hockey. So Chris McFarland has been having a very good time taking players and throwing them in the garbage cans known as the other teams in this league. We get to say goodbye to everyone's favorite pylon, Curtis McDermott. Mom legitimately pouted for 30 minutes after hearing that he got traded.
Oh God, the bad skating is gone.
We're almost free. We just have to get Jack Johnson off the team and we will be free. We also lost Ryan Johansson and Bowen Byram. Ryjo was like all season, so I'll take that. Bo stings a little bit. I liked him. I wanted to keep him around. But we got Casey Middlestat and Sean Walker, which Casey Middlestat will be good because we need centers beyond Nathan McKinnon so goddamn bad. And Sean Walker, if you would like to get to Ball Arena right now, we're having a really bad time defensively. So if you'd like to hurry that ass up and get in the lineup today, thank you.
Is it still 2-2?
It's 2-2, but it's bad when my Minnesota Wild friend is texting me and says, that's embarrassing while he's at the game. So
Jesus.
MJ, let me ask you, do you think that the Dermy trade, not from a Colorado standpoint, but from the Devils standpoint, do you think that is in any way an attempt to answer Rempe?
No, probably not. I don't know, dude. Rempe's gonna get if he doesn't already have a concussion, that man is gonna have Alzheimer's by age 25. He's having a great time, and I'm gonna let him keep having a great time. But he's fought in all 7 games he's played in, and I'm gonna need him to chill. After his second game, he had 9 minutes and 47 seconds of ice time total between both games, and 22 penalty minutes. So
that's impressive, actually.
That's good stuff.
And those the 2 fights in those first 2 games were fucking
so
radical.
Good. They were so good.
I was super into it, and he's done it. He fought fucking Ryan Reeves during the last Rangers Leafs game 2 or 3 days ago. He just keeps going. Okay, bud, have fun. You're gonna join Mr. Antonio Brown there in a little bit, but you have a good time. So for the playoff standing, also the trade deadline's coming up, so there's a lot of people trading. Noah Hannafin just got moved from Calgary to Vegas for I don't know picks, and Philly's picking up the tab. The Lightning picked up a tab on I think the Wenberg trade. They're not going to have anything to talk about at the trade deadline 2024 specials. Hence, my name is Trade Deadline 2025 because that's the next time it's going to be interesting. For like playoff standings and everything, it's fine. I mean, for the Avs, we're looking good. I think Vancouver is still. Oh no, Florida's now first in the league, but Vancouver has a game in hand. Oh, but they're back 3 points. Anyway, Vancouver shouldn't be this good, but there they are, being good. Shocking. And then in the East, yes, we can. In the East, we got Florida, Boston, and Toronto, and then Tampa is actually currently below Detroit. Tampa's below Detroit in the wild card. So there's a chance that Tampa maybe doesn't make it to the playoffs this year. We might be free. The evil may be defeated. It would be defeated by the fucking Red Wings, so I'm not super happy about that. But one evil can only be replaced by another. That's my hit on the NHL.
It's interesting that McFarland is really taking a page out of Super Joe's playbook, right? He just fleeces everyone. The biggest con job was being able to get, I think I put this in the Discord, was being able to get more than a left-handed skate and 2 pucks for Curtis McDermott. How they managed to get a pick out of that is just absolutely beyond me.
They didn't just get a pick, they got another player. They gave him an actual person.
Well, right.
Not just an imaginary future person. They gave him a real person. Granted, he's playing in the KHL.
I was going to say, let's not get too crazy there.
But he's still a real individual. Like, there's a fake.
They gave him a contract. I don't even think that man is signed.
Yeah, no, but it's like he's got a name. Like, it wasn't just like they didn't just give him a bag of hamburgers or something. They gave him like an actual pick and somebody who has a name, like a real human.
Someone who may have actually even played hockey.
Yeah, is currently playing hockey. Is probably a better skater than Curtis McDermott.
Almost guaranteed a better skater.
And the 6th round draft pick will probably still be skating better than Curtis McDermott because it's like watching me on skates.
Oh my god.
Like they could have gotten away with getting like Jonesy and Shoresy from Letterkenny and everyone.
There you go.
Okay, yay!
They could have gotten the fucking 3 gyms. Like
they could have gotten Goldberg, the goalie from the Mighty Ducks 35 years ago for Curtis McDermott, and I would have been happy with it.
Exactly. And the other part is they're really not only are they looking to shore themselves up for a cup run by cementing some needs, right? I think with Middlestat, they are going to solve their 2C problem. That's going to be a huge bit. But Sean Walker as an offensive defenseman is absolutely fantastic. He is the perfect Super Joe defenseman in this system that they like to run. He skates like the wind. He's got 22 points. He's a +9 with 19 and change in time on ice. This guy's going to fit in great. My only concern is when you get into the playoffs, and this team has had struggles with this in runs when they haven't gotten to the cup, are they going to be physical enough? MJ, I know you don't like Jack Johnson, but right now he's the only one back there hitting anyone.
He's our only goon on the squad currently.
Yeah, he's the only goon. Like, there's a lot of guys on the team who will throw big hits. I'm less worried about the physicality and more worried about the state of Georgiev's just general.
I was going to say the state of our
goaltending. If Mr. McFarland is done, I'm going to be very upset because he should not be done. We need goaltending desperately. Mr. Fleury says that he does not want to leave Minnesota at this time. So I'm not thinking that we're going to get a Flower in town, but I would take an improvement, any improvement, preferably. Not necessarily an improvement over Georgie, but an improvement over whatever fucking ragdoll we have tied to the post sometimes that they haven't been stopping anything.
Hey, that ragdoll did pretty well the other night. He got a shutout in that 5-0 game. I know it wasn't.
He's got
easy.
two
Juice
straight
got
shutouts.
Yeah,
He's got two
right.
straight shutouts.
Juice is fine.
If they play Chicago the rest of the way, they're never going to lose another game,
Granted,
and they're never going to give up
I
another
was
goal.
going to say,
They were playing.
is no one
against
going to
the-
talk about the fact that he blanked a team that sucks?
Yeah,
Well,
I
they're
mean, it's basically the St. Augustine's Christmas, choir that's playing for Chicago, and that one dude, Connor Bedard, who hates his life, I'm sure,
Bedard.
Do at this point.
He's having
and
a good
Bedard's
time with
mom.
he's having a good time with Patrick Kane. It's just that the rest of the team hasn't decided that they're having a good time.
Right.
Also, it like half that fucking team is injured. So it's like not only is it the B squad for Chicago, it's like the B squad D squad.
Scrubs.
Like they are playing
Right.
fucking ECHL players at this point.
And going back to what I was saying, not only are they trying to set up for the run, but they're looking ahead. They 2C with a guy they can have control of for the next couple of years. What are you doing over there? What is
You
that?
Being
did.
a
You did the
robot.
thing.
Listening to you glitch out like a robot.
Am I
did the
glitching
thing.
again?
You did for a
God.
second.
Looks like I'm not seeing it here, so it must be something. Whatever.
All that peyote we're all eating.
Right. Well, I'm just saying.
You
it could
guys
be
not get your
outbound.
snacks?
Could be outbound. Bowen Byram, as much as everyone loved him around here, he has not been the same since the cup run. He's only a +1 with 20 points. Sean Walker, like I said, 22 points and is playing better. And they saved $2.5 million under the cap.
My big takeaway from this one was that they needed to replace Bo because of his injury history. And they're going to need somebody who can stay on the ice. So, and unfortunately, Bo's got a head case issue. He's
Right.
just had a couple concussions, and once you get one, it's easy to get several. I've had a couple. I know how it goes, but I think that was 100% a health issue more than anything.
Tank, you got any thoughts?
No, I'm kind of some good decisions. But once again, I'm still looking for another body in goal, or maybe just more time for Georgie out of goal. Whatever it's going to take. We need to reserve him a little bit when we get to before we get to the playoffs.
Yep.
No, just keep sending them Chicago. Let's go.
Yeah. If we play Chicago 30 more times, that'd be fantastic.
There we go. They are currently third in the division, 4 behind Dallas with a game in hand. Winnipeg has 2 games in hand. That game on the 13th against the Jets at Ball Arena is looming large as a very important game, I think, in terms of the standings going ahead. But it looks like they're going to stay in that top 3 in the division because they're still 8 points ahead of Nashville to stay out of the wild card. So looking like they're going to be in decent shape to at least have a good matchup in the playoffs. Let's move on to the NFL. What?
McKinnon extended his scoring streak also.
Oh, nice.
So
There you go. So is it 3-2 now?
No, he got the second goal.
he got the second
Oh,
goal.
I got the second goal. Okay.
Yeah, I just wanted to let you know. McKinnon is still on his scoring streak.
Brilliant. All right.
Hell
In the
yeah.
NFL, we would be absolutely remiss not to talk about one of the giants of the sports media world who left us this week. Chris Mortensen finally, after a long illness, passed away. Somebody that I have remember watching for, God, what seems like decades on ESPN, and one of the true, by all reports, nicest people in the game. Finally, like I said, lost his battle to his illness. So Godspeed to Mr. Mortensen. Does anyone have anything they'd like to share? Mark?
I mean, I was just going to let what you said breathe, but
Okay.
yeah, I was sad by that. Like you said, one of the guys who never say anything bad about anybody, was everybody's friend, and had, a major illness that he put on display, until almost, right before it was time for him to go. He still worked and was still on the air, and I think that was, not only was it brave of him to do that, I think it was important for him to do that because it brought attention to what was going on. And, the amount of stuff that ESPN as a network does for cancer and cancer treatment and that kind of thing is amazing on its own. And Chris Mortensen has been a huge part of that the last 20 years. So, we love you, Mort. You're in a better place now. Pain's over. Good for you, bud. It's sad that he's gone, but I'm glad he's at a better place.
Tank, you got anything?
Just kind of going along with what you guys have said. I mean, literally for the longest time, he was there for, I guess, basically my entire NFL watching life up until he couldn't go anymore. And yeah, it sucks to lose someone like that who had such a big impact. But I think that impact is still there, and there's a lot of people that'll carry on that legacy for him, I hope.
MJ, were you shaking your head? Don't have anything?
Don't have anything.
Okay. Awesome.
Rip
Right.
Mort.
In news that surprises absolutely no one, the Denver Broncos have informed Russell Wilson that he is going to be released post March 13th. Tank, talk for a minute about the legacy of one Russell Wilson.
Okay. So his legacy with us.
Oh,
Nope. I had it cut off. Sorry.
Oh, there you go.
Cut off.
okay.
I actually kind of disagree with the move, to be honest. I understand why, but seems like you could have kept him on and had him play for another year. Well, you go draft a guy and let him sit behind Russ for a year, but whatever. They are letting him talk to other teams, apparently, to try and find out where he might be going. So I guess that's nice of them. He just never had the run game he needed here. That's part of it. And then he just did not mesh with the offense. And it killed him. It killed his time here, unfortunately. And he spent half of it injured. So the legacy is we spent a shitload of money on a guy that wasn't ready to go for us and that we weren't ready to support. And now he's gone.
Mark?
How long before George Paton gets fired? I think it might be the day after the draft that they announced that he's been let go. I get that you don't. Our father and I had to have this conversation yesterday at the hospital, but he said, "Well, why would you even bring him on, or why would you even have him sign the contract? You already had him for 2 years." Well, they had a deal in place before the trade, or the trade wouldn't have happened. But the fact that there was a deal in place and you didn't do your due diligence and you brought this guy in who was owned by a rookie head coach who had no business, having him in charge of somebody who's seasoned and wants to take over a team, you can't have the quarterback in charge of the entire team. And that's what they had last year with Nathaniel Hackett. Obviously the players revolted and shit like that, but that was on Russell Wilson. He wanted to be the man. He came here to be the man. He was put in his place by Sean Payton this year, who, yes, withheld playbook from him, withheld him from doing things that he was good at for a while. But last year said enough about Russell Wilson, the person to me. He was all about the show. In that first regular season game where he's on the sidelines yelling at his offensive players to yell run or pass, like we're in fucking high school. And the let's ride thing. You came in here on your own high horse and set up a shop. You were busy putting, shops in Cherry Creek Mall. But even before you played it down, there was a store in the Cherry Creek Mall that was Russell Wilson. He was so busy building his brand, he forgot to fucking play the goddamn football game. So, I just had a glitch there. That wasn't a computer. That was me. He forgot to play football. And so the legacy to me is it was a failed experiment by George Paton, who has no business being the guy other than the fact that he pushes pencils around now and faxes the letter to the owners. He knows how to push the fax button. Sean Payton doesn't want to do it. That's the only reason this jabroni still has a job. That is the worst contract ever. And now you have to suffer through the biggest cap hit ever, twice the size of the Matt Ryan cap hit that Atlanta's had. It's twice as big as that, and that was the biggest one. The Broncos are not going to be. They're going to take a giant step back this year, and it's because of dipshitty stuff that George Payton has done. And that's the legacy of Russell Wilson, is it continued to demolish the franchise that is the Denver Broncos, to be honest. He put himself in front of the team, and, maybe he corrected that this last year, but too little too late in my eyes. Damage was already done.
MJ, we were all super excited when the trade was first announced, and I think in a different way, we're excited now that it's over. Do you have any thoughts about Russell Wilson and his time in Denver?
Russell Wilson will be leaving the team with fewer wins than he has bathrooms. So good work on that one. Thank you.
I knew it was coming.
Yeah.
And we will suffer for $89 million for the next 2 years for it. Lewis Hamilton doesn't make that much money, so rip.
No, but Penner Walton does. So
Penner does.
I'm not worried about the cash.
Walmart makes enough.
Yeah,
it's not about the cash; it's about the cap.
Well,
Yeah.
Yeah.
I don't know. Maybe we can get Geno Smith back.
Yeah, that's never going to happen.
Back?
Back.
All right. So do we have any? We talked about it a little bit about this the last time we got together. Any more thoughts about where he could go next? Tank.
I mean, if they're letting him talk to teams, obviously there's some people that are interested. So Steelers probably still.
Mark?
Sandworms.
He's going to Arrakis.
Oh, that's an interesting place. He's going to start his own team out there.
He is the least.
There was a note for us to scroll down, so I scrolled down.
Yep.
And so
sandworms.
Saw the sandworm. I was again talking to the progenitor about this yesterday. I am actually rooting for Russell Wilson to go to the Raiders. And here's why. I want the rivalry back. I want the Raiders to hate the Broncos. I want the Broncos to absolutely despise the Raiders. And Russell Wilson to the Raiders screams that. I think that would be great for the rivalry. That's all I care about. If Russell Wilson goes to the Raiders, it's great for the rivalry.
MJ?
Preferably the garbage bin, but wherever he would like, I suppose.
Fair enough. The next question we have to answer is what's next at quarterback? Mark, I know you have some thoughts about what they could do in the draft. Or not.
Shove a head up their own ass.
Justin Fields.
What? Justin Fields is there, but that's a trade. For me, you have 5 picks. I know what I think they're going to do, and I think it's wrong. I think we're moving up again because you're going to have to get JJ McCarthy. He's the most interesting of these quarterbacks that you can't get in the top 3. And you're not going to be able to get into the top 5 with the draft capital that you have. You've already lost too much. I want them to trade back and get more picks. That's what I want them to do. I don't know what they're doing at quarterback. I see a scenario where like a Jacoby Brissett finally comes to Denver on a vet minimum, and then you have Jacoby Brissett and go for the starting job for 5 or 6 games until they fuck it up and they have the rookie coming in. But I want them to get more draft capital. I think that you can get a quarterback at the end of the first round still. I don't think all 6 quarterbacks are going to go in the first 10 picks, but I know the first 4 are. I don't know. I don't think that they're going to do the right thing here. I really just don't have faith in them at all at this point to do the right thing here.
All right. So if you're ruling out 1 through 4, who do you want? That's
I mean,
it's Knicks or Penix.
It's for me. If it's one of the 2 of them, I like the athletic. That give me Michael Penix. He's not going to start right away. He'll start halfway through the first season. or he might get a full season behind whoever the jabroni is that they're going to throw out in front of the meat sacks. I don't know. Penix is way more interesting to me than Bo Nix is.
Tank, what do you think?
I think letting it be known that we are interested in McCarthy was the wrong move. I'm going to start there. If that is the reality of the situation, that they were interested in McCarthy, they should have just shut the fuck up about it, and they may have actually gotten him. But at this point, I think he's going to end up going to Minnesota. Yeah, I think if they draft anyone, it's probably going to be Penix, would be my assumption at this point. He's probably the kind of guy that Sean would work with, seemingly. Let him sit for a year behind, I'm assuming, Jarrett Stidham at this point. And I unfortunately think that's what we're going to be doing for next year. We're going to be rooting on Jarrett Stidham at quarterback, which is
Stiddy time.
Which, I mean, his stats were the same as Russ's, so fuck. I guess.
Just did win. Michaela, what do you think?
Yeah. I don't know anything about the draft class. There's that kid from Southern California. There's Southern California.
USC. Yeah.
I think his name
Caleb
is
Williams.
Caleb.
Yes,
Yeah.
that's the guy. That's the guy. You got it.
Does that man
You
play
know more than
quarterback?
you think you did. I am proud of
Good
you.
job.
Pull that right up out of your ass.
Yeah. Yikes. But I think I agree with Mark in that we should trade down and get more picks because I like having more picks, and I think we should be stupid and trade for Justin Fields because it sounds like he is cheap as shit, and fuck it, we just need somebody to be a human being throwing a ball, and I think he sometimes checks that box.
That's brilliant analysis. It's
That
actually
is
spot on.
Yeah.
I'm torn here. I don't know if you're going to be you have to get someone in this class because we can't wait 2 years. And the next year's class is terrible as it stands right now. So we have to get somebody in the building to start learning. And I think to everyone's point so far, I think it's Michael Penix. He's the one that I've been pounding the table for really since middle of the season. I've really liked this kid. His medicals all came back clear. Tank, you brought up the piece about how it was released that the Broncos are interested in JJ McCarthy. We all have to remember that this is the lying season. No one is telling the truth about anything, and this just could be smoke. Sean Payton's been doing this a long time, and I think he knows how to play that game, especially in the national media. And if he wanted that message out, it was for a reason. And it's not because he likes the guy. I think it's because he likes somebody else, and he's trying to force a narrative and get someone on top of McCarthy before they start thinking about either Nix or Penix. I would be okay with either one. I really like Penix. I really do.
Penix has the best arm, honestly, out of all of the top 6 quarterbacks, I'd say.
He's also just more interesting to me than Bo Nix is.
It's because Bo Nix is old.
He's 25.
It's like boring. It's just boring. Reminds me of Brandon Whedon. It's that kind of
Holy shit. It is
what I
Brandon.
mean?
It's
That's what
Brandon
I mean.
Whedon.
Yeah.
He was so
Yeah.
boring, and everyone was like, man, he's awesome. He's old and he's boring. Who
Yeah,
cares?
you're not wrong.
He is
That's
Brandon
what I
Whedon.
That's
He is
exactly
Brandon
what I'm
Whedon.
thinking about Bo Nix,
Yeah, that's
man.
a- that's a
why I
good
want
comp.
Michael Penix.
That is a really good comp right there.
Yeah,
let's go
everyone
with
said
Penix.
Brandon Whedon's smart, and they're like, okay, but he's still fucking boring as shit. He's boring.
Right.
I don't want
Oh,
any
yeah.
more boring football.
And he had a noodle arm. Like he couldn't throw
Yeah,
the ball.
yeah.
He couldn't throw the 20-yard out. Like there was just no way he could
Noodle.
make that happen.
And you guys
Yeah.
are 100% right about trading down. If you're going to go for Penix, and that's the guy that you're looking at, you can trade way deeper down into the first and get a second out of somebody, and then take Penix in the second, probably.
I don't
Yeah.
think he gets out of the first round. I don't think he gets out of the first round. There's no way.
There's not enough teams that need a quarterback. As weird as that sounds.
You can trade.
Are you sure about
trade
that?
You can trade down to like 25 and still get a second round pick out of it, and still get Michael Penix Jr.
I think
Yeah,
you can still get.
It's going to have to be it's going to have to be in the first.
You need a quarterback in the first round. You need that fifth year option in order to build your team.
Yep. Absolutely.
I guess. Okay. Yeah. Because of the fifth year.
Yeah.
Yes. Trade late.
It has to be
round.
a first round. Yeah, it has to be a first round pick because you need that for fifth year option.
I will agree for that reason only, actually, is that you need that fifth year. Because I don't actually think that Penix is going to make it out of I don't think he's getting picked in the first round unless someone like Denver does it. And because the quarterbacks that are obviously going are going to go early and quick. And after that, there's not a lot of teams, especially depending on what happens with Fields and Cousins and all these guys that are currently looking for a place to go potentially. Once they fill a spot, there's going to be a lot less teams that will be searching for a quarterback. So
I don't know that. I don't know that you're right about that. I mean, I worry about the Raiders at 13. They don't have a quarterback. They don't like O'Connell
Till they get Russell Wilson.
yeah, they're going to be. I think they're going to get Cousins or Wilson potentially.
I'd love to see Kirk Cousins in a Raiders uniform too. He has a punchable face.
Right. So as it stands right now, the Bears, the Commanders, and the Patriots all need quarterbacks. That's 1, 2, and 3. You don't.
And
get
that's
to
if
another
Justin Fields is leaving. You have to have Justin Fields leaving for the Bears to be true.
Oh, I think that's going to happen. If they don't trade the pick, they're taking Caleb Williams and Justin Fields is gone. I think that the Giants need a quarterback. There's one. The Falcons could use a quarterback. The Jets don't know what they're going to do past 2024, and can we trust old ayahuasca to do his thing? You've got the Vikings. You've got the Raiders.
Well, I think the Vikings are going to be getting whoever's left of the top 4 quarterbacks. I think that's going to be the Vikings move.
What about the Giants? The Giants are right there. The Giants are ahead of them.
The Giants have 3 quarterbacks, man. What are you talking about?
Right? You're going to place all your trust in Tommy Cutlets? I don't think so.
No, but they have Tyrod.
Tyrod.
And Vanilla Vic. They have quarterbacks. None of them are any good, but they have quarterbacks.
I don't think as weird as this sounds, I don't think the Giants are going to reach for a quarterback. As weird as that sounds, I don't think they're going to, because they've done that twice. And they need way more help than a quarterback. They need offensive line, and I think they're going to use that pick on someone like Alt probably to fill out that offensive line as much as they can.
But you know how quarterback fever gets.
I know.
You can't win in this league without a quarterback.
I agree with you 100%, but I think they have way more problems than that.
Every one of these teams that needs a quarterback has way more problems. I give you Denver.
He would know. He's the one that's filling up.
I'm the one making the decisions. All right. I'm telling you right now.
It's his draft board.
Right.
My board. All right.
Frank's draft board.
And you're not wrong. There's enough teams that need a quarterback, but when you look at who's going to be moving where, a lot of those teams are going to fill someone in. So you're going to have the Falcons is the most likely destination for Justin Fields or Kirk Cousins. They're getting one of the two. So that's going to take them off the board. The Raiders, I'm confused by them, honestly. I don't know if they're going to do anything quarterback right now, so I'm not super worried about that. And the Jets, that'd be the only one that you might be right. The Jets might slide up to try and grab a quarterback. But everyone else, all the ones are going to be off the top of the board at the beginning.
A week from today, free agency starts, and when those dominoes start falling, we'll know a hell of a lot more about who needs what and what goes where and who's wherever they are. Speaking of free agency, there have been some tags, and gentlemen, we are still writing the script. Sort of. We thought that they were going to tag Mike Evans in Tampa. They did not. They tagged Winfield instead. T. Higgins got tagged. I think we called that one. And L'Jarius Sneed's going to get tagged. It's going to happen. And they're going to try to work out a long-term deal with him. But it's also possible they could tag him and trade him.
Yeah,
Mark?
I was going to say non-exclusive
go ahead,
on
Tag.
that one.
Yeah, it was the non-exclusive was interesting. So we'll see what happens there. I believe I was the one who called the T. Higgins thing because you guys were like, nobody's really on it, and I was like, T. Higgins is kind of interesting. So thank you. Still writing the script.
Michael Pittman Jr. got tagged too. That's not on the agenda, but that happened today, so we called that one as well.
Yeah, we did call that one. I'm glad. Actually, I'm kind of upset that they didn't tag Mike Evans because I didn't think they would because they thought it was going to piss him off. But I wanted them to because it would have pissed him off and that would have been interesting. But they didn't. And so Winfield got the tag.
And then they paid him.
Yeah. And they're not paying anybody else. I mean, they're not paying anybody else.
They got to save money for Baker. They got to pay Baker.
Yeah, they got to pay Baker 25 million a year. So.
All right. Well, that's enough NFL until next time. We have more dipshit fun time. Dipshit, it's time for your F1 update of the week.
Sorry, I had to look something up. F1 time.
I see what you did there. You did the F1 for the hockey and the hockey for the F1. Carry on.
Yep. Okay. So the first race was this weekend. It was Bahrain. And during practice, everyone was like, "Ooh, Red Bull doesn't look that good. Maybe it's actually going to be a real season." And Mercedes looked good, and Ferrari looked fine, and McLaren looked okay. And then during qualifying, Max was like, "What if I simply got pole?" And he got pole. And for some reason, Kevin Magnussen got really high up. That was weird. And then Max Verstappen led every lap and had a 4-second gap. A 1 second gap 4 laps in. And everyone was like, I know this pain. This is a familiar pain. Carlos Sainz and Charles Leclerc kind of battled it out a little bit. Because Leclerc couldn't fucking brake and turn to save his life. He was like, every time I brake, I go right. And for some reason, Sainz was not having that problem. Skill issue, I guess. What else happened? So Daniel Ricciardo, that guy we were talking about, that Adam Sandler looking motherfucker. He drives for it's Visa Cash App Racing Bulls, but everyone just calls it VCarb. He drives for VCarb with this kid named Yuki Tsunoda, and Yuki Tsunoda learned English from a bunch of angry Englishmen, so he says fuck a lot. But at one point, Tsunoda was in front, and the team told him to let Daniel pass him, and he got very mad about it, but he let Daniel pass him, and then during like the cooldown lap, fucking Tsunoda tried to run him off the road and like speed past him. It was really weird. They fight. And then what was the other interesting thing? Alpine. There's a team. It's called Alpine. It's their French team, and they've got French drivers. And instead of a car, they decided to bring a tractor to the race. I decided. It was ass. They sucked so bad. They are so bad, and they made both my fantasy teams do very bad, and I was unhappy about that. And then Logan Sargent didn't DNF, so that's a bonus. He did still get P20. We discussed this, but better than not finishing, I guess. Hashtag nobody cares about my fantasy team, but I'm gonna need some better fucking performances out of a lot of people if we're gonna catch up from that one, boys.
Now, are you playing in the no max league, or does somebody actually have max?
It's so it doesn't. People can have the same guy over and over again. I do not have max because it's like a cap league. And you have like $250 million, and max is $30 million, and you need 5 drivers and 2 teams. So it's like, I have max, but I also have 4 fucking rando bobs and the 2 worst teams on the track. But I'm in 2 leagues, and both did bad. Neither did good.
Well, it's a long season.
Yeah. It's a long season.
It's a long season.
Races.
Right. All right, good job. Thank you for the Dipshit Fun Time F1 update of the week. Speaking of dipshit, it's now time for Dipshit of the Week, the final segment of the show. Mark, he says knowingly, do you have something ready or do I need to come back to you?
One of the things I definitely wanted to talk about this week was Chris Bryant and how apparently.
Oh yeah, I'll let you. You want to do baseball first? You want to do some baseball?
No, I mean this is part of my dipshit of the week, so it's fine.
Okay.
It's fine. First off, the Red Sox lost Nicholas Giolito for the 2024 season, and he was like the one hope I had of having a winning season. But in other news, they're looking for other starters right now. And there is a possible return coming for one Dick Mountain. So look for Rich Hill possibly in a Red Sox uniform soon. I love me some fucking Dick Mountain, man. And if he's on the Red Sox, I might watch a game or two just because it's just entertaining. You don't know what you're going to get. It's awful to watch. But it's, Dick Mountain's my age. He's 40. I think he might be older than me. I think he might be 41 or 42. But Rich Hill could return to a Red Sox uniform. The other news that I wanted to talk about, and this is, yes, my dipshit of the week. There were some comments that came out from one Chris Bryant, who has made it very clear that he doesn't want to be in Colorado anymore. He said basically it was talking about the shortened season in which he was a free agent. The strike ended, the lockout ended, and people were signing. And he was like, I think almost verbatim said, "Oh shit, I should get to a camp quick." And so he just picked the purple just because they were giving him the most money without doing any research. He went on to say he had no idea how bad he didn't say how bad, but he had no idea that there wasn't as much in place as far as a farm system. He didn't say the words bad, but he basically said that the Rockies were terrible and he had no idea. So, he's in year 2 of this contract. It's a 7-year deal. This is going to get interesting and not in a good way with Chris Bryant. I also don't think that the Rockies did their fair share of assessment. I was blown away when they made this deal. I couldn't believe Chris Bryant got this money, and especially from the Rockies. I was like, you just gave us a player that you were paying for just to say, hey, we've got high-priced talent on this team. Forgot about Dorn, but he's only high-priced. It's that kind of thing, and he's hurt all the time. He sat out 10 games or 12 games for bed soreness. Because he stayed at a Holiday Inn Express or something. This signing has been a joke. It's the tale of the Rockies all over again. But yeah, Chris Bryant, you are my dipshit of the week for saying that you don't want to be in Colorado.
MJ,
I have 2 dipshits. I have 2 dipshits available. I'm going to use both of them. The first one I'm going to send into the group chat now. The U.S. women's national team and the Canadian women's national team are currently playing a soccer game on a water polo pitch.
Why is it so wet?
Because it's rain in San Diego, apparently. But if you've ever seen that the Steelers versus Dolphins game from like 06 or whatever, when the ball just kind of like falls flat.
It's like hail of water behind the ball.
There's just no air in the ball at all.
No, it's not moving.
It's just
that second kick is hilarious.
They're kicking it through oatmeal.
Not the first kick, it's the second kick that goes like 3 feet.
That goes 3 feet. The one that turns the ball over for a goal. Yeah. That's the one.
Yeah, that's the kick. That's the kick I'm talking about.
Oh, that's gross.
Oh God.
So I just wanted to share that we're winning, but they should probably stop playing the game. Someone's gonna die out there.
Shout out to the women's team for getting into that fight a few days ago. By the way,
oh, they were taking none of Columbia's shit.
That was awesome. I enjoyed the shit out of that.
The second dipshit I am taking from Mark because he should have used this one instead of Chris Bryant. I don't know what you were thinking. Brent Rooker, I'm sending it in the chat, plays for the Oakland Athletics right now.
I forgot about this one.
So they released the stills from renders of the new Athletics stadium in Vegas. and someone zoomed in on the fake fucking screen and saw that Rooker had a 303 and said, I can't believe this is so unrealistic. I like Brent Rooker, but there's no way he projects as a 303. And he's like, bro, I am trying to take a day off and I'm catching strays about an artist depiction of my potential batting average in several years.
I said that to you this morning. I completely forgot about that one.
I laughed at that for like 30 minutes. Shit made me laugh so hard.
I was looking. Also noticeably, they're playing the Angels, and it's just a sad lineup for the Angels.
Yeah,
it's Mike Trout and 8 dudes I've never heard of.
Right. Oh, you mean like the last decade?
Yeah,
Mike Trout, Mark Donk, and Buzz Flibbit over here. Like, oh, it just made me laugh so hard.
Side note, that Angels or that athletics field that they're putting in looks like fucking the Sydney Opera House. That thing is gorgeous.
Did you see that they were like, the screen may or may not induce vertigo?
Yeah, right.
That's
Christ.
It's all green. Athletics green. Everyone just leaves green.
All right, Tank, what do you got?
There was a lot of stupidity this week, but I think the thing that caught my attention the most was for some reason, endless amount of people that kept trying to compare Xavier Worthy to Usain Bolt. Not sure how that happened or why that became a discussion. Xavier Worthy, for those who don't know, ran the fastest combine time ever recorded at a 4.21. And for some reason, that opened up a debate on if he could beat Usain Bolt. Well, let's go ahead and say probably not, because he's still, even at he's like 39 years old, something like that, the fastest man on the planet, the fastest man to ever exist. So anyone who took a side in that debate and said that there was a chance, not understanding the scale of professional track athletes and how fast they actually are, you're stupid. This was a dumb conversation. Thank you for participating.
Good call. All right, for my dipshit, we have covered in another dipshit segment the legal issues of one Xavier Babudar, also known as the Chiefsaholic. He is not my dipshit of the week. However, my dipshit of the week is his attorney, Matthew Merriman, who released one of the strangest statements for his client that I have ever heard. May I remind you that Xavier Babudar pled guilty to multiple bank robberies, which he was using to fund his trips to go watch the Chiefs in all these different away games in terms of $700,000. Pled guilty and is facing 40 to 50 years in prison without possibility of parole. I would like to read for you this statement that this man released for this fucking guy. Today was a big day for Xavier Babudar. From the beginning of this case, the government has been blitzing and Xavier's pocket was collapsing. But today, Xavier stepped up into the pressure and took responsibility for his actions. If I know anything about Xavier Babudar, and if Chiefs Kingdom knows anything about the Chiefsaholic, it's that even when Xavier was under pressure and he stumbled and fell, he did not let his knee touch the ground because he knows there is still hope. Today, Xavier stood humble and repentant before the eyes of the court and the eyes of Chiefs Kingdom. Xavier loves the Chiefs Kingdom. He loves his family and he loves Kansas City. He only hopes that you will all rally to his support. That's gotta be the dumbest thing I've ever heard in my life.
Do you think Xavier Babudar wrote that and had his lawyer?
Maybe.
Like that just sounds like that sounds like an epitaph. Sounds like the guy died.
I know. Just
or he got
he's
cancer
dead.
or something.
the layering in of football analogies
Oh,
for a guy who pled guilty to bank robbery and
You know what
is
they were
facing the rest of his life in prison.
It reminds me of the
He
dude
did
that
not
came
touch
out
the
to
ground.
speak on Watson's behalf after he got in all his trouble.
Yeah.
Mhm.
Who's basically said it's not his fault if he ejaculated. That conversation.
Yeah, that one.
Right. Yeah. Yep.
Talk about a life ruiner.
Right. That's a good one. That's a good one. Yeah. So I don't know if Matthew Merriman's ever going to get another client unless he's representing some chief fan hoodlum. But this is Matthew Merriman. You are
stupid.
my dipshit of the week. All right. Before we say adios and right off into the sunset, it's time for final thoughts. Say the things, pimp the stuff. Tank, take it away.
The Rockies aren't losing. I know it's only spring ball, but they're not losing. At least that much. So that makes me a little bit happy. I know that's not going to continue into the regular season, and I fully accept that. But it does give me a little bit of a smile to know that they're winning some games.
I can't wait for the Rockies to be above 500 at like 4-3, and you to have a little bit of fucking hope,
And then they lose 100 games. Yeah.
Then June happens.
Yeah. I'm fully expecting that to be the finale for my happiness, is just crushing defeat again. But for the short time, I'm a little bit happy about that. As for where you can find me tomorrow night. We're doing Nerds That Know tomorrow night. Not sure all of what we're talking about, but there's been a lot of stuff happening in the entertainment world, so I'm sure we're going to get to it. You can find me at Tank Knox or Knox Nostalgic Collectibles on all of the socials, and that's about it.
MJ?
The Avalanche are currently winning 4-2. Dale McCarr just scored. Nathan McKinnon has 4 points on the night. And the Avs and the Red Wings are fighting each other, so all is well in the world.
Brilliant. Mark?
That all sounds awesome. Yeah, can't wait to join you guys again tomorrow night over at the Nerds That Know. Duchess Bobby will join us too. Can't wait for that. Lots to talk about. I've been binging Trolls of Arcadia. I know that's kind of, older at this point, but it's been a lot of fun. So we'll talk about some other stuff too then. And we have to talk about Meow Wolf, because we haven't talked about the new Meow Wolf since we got back from Dallas. So stuff coming about that. So yeah, join us tomorrow, and back to you, Matt.
As we get into my favorite sports time of the year and we get into the March Madness, you would be remiss if you don't watch any Mountain West basketball. Legitimately, this conference could send 6 teams to the tournament, which would be, if not number one, tied for number one, maybe with the Big Ten. There are great players, great teams putting great effort on the floor every single night. And I actually meant to call this out last week and totally forgot. So please watch some Mountain West basketball tournament action next week. Great stuff. Yes, sir.
Oh, you just brought something to my attention. We would also be remiss if we didn't talk about how Caden Clark passed Pistol Pete Maravich for the all-time Division I scoring lead. So Caitlin Clark is the all-time leader in Division I basketball scoring.
Yeah, and I also want to say Doug Gottlieb can go fuck himself, because he refuses to compare. It's not the same game. We don't do the same thing. It's teams and players, bro. It's teams and players. She is the highest scoring player in the history of basketball at the college ranks. Go fuck yourself.
Doug Gottlieb hasn't done a fucking thing since college, so he just lives his college days over and over and over again.
He's a fucking idiot.
I can't listen to him.
Yeah. It happened to scroll across my TikTok page. I'm like, oh, what's he saying? Oh, he's
some more dumb shit. Yeah.
Go fuck yourself. Make sure you catch us on all of our socials. You can find My Brothers in Idiot on Facebook. Just search that name. Find the black logo. We'll let you in. The My Brothers in Idiot Twitter and Twitch are at The Idiot Goons. We're also on YouTube at My Brothers in Idiot. Mark's Twitch, Twitter, and TikTok are at Paw Fulltime. And my Twitch and Twitter are at Pawfulupagus. You can also find me on TikTok at King Goon Smoke. For the absent and now recovering Muti, we love you, Muti.
Muti.
For Tank MJ, Mark, and the ever-present in our hearts and minds, Gene Mingo. This has been My Brother's an Idiot. I am the king of the goons. We'll see you next time. See ya.
Bruh.
Bruh.